Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me and happy Wednesday. And of course, we know that means it is Spirit Wisdom Wednesday, where we gather here together in the healing space and allow some beautiful spirit wisdom to flow through. Now, if you are joining me here for the premiere, if this video is rendered and posted the way that it's meant to, and my event is going well on Wednesday today, I will probably be watching this with you live, but I am pre-recording this the evening before because I will be traveling for business. And also, apologies ahead of time if I need to clear my throat or something like that. I've been feeling a bit under the weather, which has been super inconvenient, but has brought up a lot of spirit messages. And illnesses are like that. You know, there's an opportunity to connect with spirit in a different way. And often they give us a lot of messages about patience, about healing. But today, if you're familiar with my socials, you'll know that they want to talk about relaxing and allowing. And for me, that can be hard because I love to have a plan and I love to know what to expect. So if you're anything like that, you might find yourself going through hypothetical scenarios and playing things out. Well, what if this happens? Well, then I have this plan. Well, and making multiple backup plans. But Spirit really wants to talk about the power and the beauty of the present moment and relaxing and simply allowing that to be. So if you are watching with me, they are inviting us to go ahead and take a deep breath. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's take a deep breath in and a smooth exhale out. One more time, inhale in and exhale out. Awesome. So that's the first thing that they want to talk about is the power of the breath. It can be a challenge to wrangle your brain. It's used to trying to protect you with instincts. Your ego is also working hard to try to protect you by being fearful about things, which is very normal. It's part of the human condition. So one of the easiest ways to get in touch with the present moment, to relax and allow what is already here to simply be, is to notice your breath. You don't even really have to do anything. If you're in a space where it feels awkward to start slowly doing diaphragm breaths, you can just notice your breathing. Notice that you breathe without doing anything at all, that it's part of living, and it gets you back in sync with that Mother Earth energy and gets you back in touch with the present moment. The second thing they're bringing up about relaxing and allowing is storytelling and the ego's need to make up stories, because the ego loves to make somebody the bad guy or make somebody wrong. In this example that came up, I was listening to an interview or a podcast or something. You know how it is when you've been watching YouTube or something and it just kind of auto plays, and a person had asked them a question and they wanted advice. And they were saying, my mom wants me to be nice to this family member, even though they are a terrible person to me and they treat me horribly, but I don't know what to do. So talk about a story, right? And the person's answer kind of surprised me and I loved it. And he said, the person who is the problem in that scenario would be your mom, because she's making up a story that because this person is related to you, that means there's some kind of obligation to sacrifice your self-respect, to accept abuse, to hold it together, to be the glue of the family. Those are all just loose concepts and ideas that you don't need to be a slave to. It's okay to respect yourself. And if, someone in your life isn't understanding that, it's okay to just have a frank discussion with them, have a Queen of Swords moment, but do it lovingly. like, hey mom, this person is pretty much emotionally and mentally abusing me, and I just can't uphold some kind of surface level happy family idea. I hope you understand. And, you know, they may not, and that's okay too. But that need to participate in stories that even other people have made up. So this idea that because we're family, that you have to act like everything's okay and just hold it together, that's a story that somebody wrote. And it doesn't need to be your story because you have your own book and you're turning your own damn pages. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, there's just not a need to participate in any stories. And the more we accept that and the more that we can observe it happening, the more expansive relationships and life becomes, in my experience. And it's okay, you know, if you fall back into it and you accidentally become part of the story and, you know, start talking to yourself, well, yeah, that wasn't fair. Well, she shouldn't have done that. Well, yeah, I'm glad I said that to her. Well, you know, again, that's a normal part of the human condition. Just have a good sense of humor about it. Laugh at the ego. The ego is pretty funny. And just know and be grateful for that moment of awareness, to be aware that that is storytelling and that's not who you really are. And that's not who they really are either. That's great. The more moments of awareness there are, the better. And the more that we talk to spirit about it and celebrate those moments, the more we will attract and amplify. And that's another thing that they're bringing up about the storytelling, is we want to be mindful and cognizant of what we are manifesting. And when we're participating in the stories, when we're participating in the drama and making choices to appease somebody else that are not in alignment with ourselves, we might actually end up attracting more situations where we feel like we have to act like that, which is not what we want. I don't know about you, but like that does not sound super fun to me. So the more that you honor yourself, set healthy boundaries and uphold them lovingly, sometimes silently, the more expansive your life becomes, the more situations where you're invited to participate in that way that's honorable, the more those will arise, because that energy is amplified and we have that reflective thing going on with the universe. Let me see if they want to say anything else about relaxing and allowing. Oh, they want me to bring up and talk about how I started to not feel well and all of the mental gymnastics that I started doing because of that. At first, I just felt really, really tired. And then I felt really, really achy, which is not like me. I know my body and I know that that's a red flag. And I started to kind of panic, thinking I had COVID. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I have COVID? I'm going to have to cancel all these plans. I'm going to have to find a test. What if my mom is sick? And I realized I caught my head doing that. And I said to myself, I talk to my brain as if it's a separate part, because, you know, you are the observer, you're not your thoughts. And so the brain wants to feel like it's working on things. That's why it's constantly spitballing. Oh, maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is why you feel bad. Maybe we should do this. So I was like, okay, why don't we look up the symptoms on a reputable source and compare them? One time, I'm not going to let myself panic. And then I'm going to lay down and take a 1-hour nap and have a glass of water and check back in with myself. And I realized that I had one of the symptoms on that list, and that nap ended up turning into like 10 solid hours of sleep. And I just feel like this is how my body is. If I allow my body to rest, I can really I can like nip illnesses rather than pushing through, and then collapsing. It's usually way worse if I do that, the latter one. So I slept for a super long time and woke up feeling so much better. I have a little bit of drainage. I know this like kind of gross little TMI, but I have sinus stuff. but that achiness is gone, the exhaustion is gone, and I feel so much better and so relieved that that was not the case. That I do not have that. I definitely don't. I've been vaccinated 2 times and I still got caught up in the story that I might have it, because that's a global story going on. Who has it? What if I have it? How will I know that I have it? How do I protect myself? So, and it's not that Spirit's saying that it's not helpful to do it and it's not helpful to be aware of it, but it's the drama and the story of being upset by it that becomes unhelpful. And that it's so worth it to just take a moment, allow yourself to be, fall asleep if you have to, and check back in with yourself when you wake up. You'd be surprised how different your perspective can be after a good night's sleep and how different the body feels. Sometimes you just need to go to bed. Sometimes you just need to go to bed and process some stuff, and it's okay to not understand every detail. And that is something that I am reminded of often, because it's something that my personality type has a hard time letting go of. I love to understand. I love to think about it. I can be very philosophical. And when you're just, going through life and doing normal stuff, sometimes that can get a little out of hand when you are clinging on to the need to understand every ache, every pain, every emotional moment. Like earlier, I was feeling like I needed to cry and I had no idea why. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to acknowledge that I feel that way, honor it, experience it, and let it go. I don't need to figure it out. And Spirit's saying, yeah, you should do that more often, to just relax and allow shit to happen. I mean, it's just part of being here. It's part of being alive. So those were most of the messages about relaxing and allowing. I have a feeling that more will come up in our week ahead readings, but thank you for allowing me to be this authentic. I know I like things to look a certain way, to sound a certain way, but sometimes this is just how it is. And I feel like Spirit was like, people need to see you like this, and they need someone to talk to that is like this. That's the way they said that. And I guess I'll take that in a good way. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get ready for our week ahead readings. It's so funny. Even though I'm not technically live, I feel like I am. I feel like I'm right there with you. So let's take a deep breath in. And an exhale out. Somebody's joy guide is already here. All right. And then check in with your spirit guides. Invite them to come close to you now. A general message that they're inviting me to share is that we would love to amplify the energy of health. And also, while they're here, amplifying that healthy energy, let's allow them to tell us which group holds your message for the week ahead. Relaxing and allowing that to come through however it needs to. You may hear, see, feel, or know that it's 1, 2, or 3. Or you may know that you need to see one of these objects that I always show you. Right? Okay, so group number 1, you have a cozy cup of tea in this cute little mug. Group number 2, you have this eye mask. Has kind of a floral print. And group number 3, you have these pink sunglasses. Okay, so for group number 1, if you chose the cozy cup of tea, here is your week ahead message. Again, we are using the embroidered tarot, the special rainbow deck. Love that. I'm already hearing the word multifaceted for group number 1. So maybe there's an issue that you're dealing with and you're trying to look at it from many different angles. Or there could just be a lot of detail to whatever you are working on. It feels like something really practical, like something you've planned out step by step, Maybe you're trying to schedule some appointments or something like that. So let's see what Spirit has to say. What is most helpful to know for the week ahead for group number 1? For the highest good of all, Spirit, what do they need to know? Okay, we're going to start out with Temperance. Look how cute. There's otters. Okay, and then we have the 6 of Cups. These are holographic. I'm trying to get the full range here. And then the Queen of Cups. Okay. So they're actually drawing attention to this Temperance card as the main attraction for the week ahead. So the imagery is quite different on this. It looks like there's a marriage of the water and earth elements going on here. So that's different than the traditional tarot. So there could be some kind of progress in grounding emotions, really allowing the emotional body to express and purge, and then grounding that back down. That feels like a practice that either you're already working on or that you could really, really benefit from. They're also mentioning salt baths for you. If you could specifically get some with lavender in it and maybe buy yourself some roses. Spirit saying that would be a really lovely thing to do to help yourself. I just feel like there's these waves of emotions that are coming, and it's like, I know in my heart that I need to just allow myself to experience them, and that they're going to be over, and that I'm going to be able to just move forward with more practical matters, if that makes sense. It feels like there is an instinct to compartmentalize things, like, oh, I don't want to be emotional while I'm doing XYZ at work. I will go out to my car instead and be emotional. Spirit's also bringing up this 6 of Cups. This usually would talk about something from childhood. I feel like maybe you're processing something from childhood that would have happened to you when you were really young. And it feels like now that you have grown up and become the queen, you now have a different perspective on your childhood, different things to honor. So there could be something that brought that up. There could be, I heard the word anniversary, so there could be like somebody's birthday that's passed away, or somebody's death date that's coming up, or just something in the family that's kind of triggered some painful memories. So I'm so sorry that you are dealing with that. It feels like I want to cry. It feels like something that you would be choked up about. So let's see what guidance that we have for the week ahead, since we know that we're dealing with balancing those emotions, and it looks like you are embracing them, and recognizing that it's part of your healing. And it looks like there is going to be some throat chakra. I almost want to say like throat chakra waking up. So maybe this is something you wouldn't normally talk about, and it's waking up part of yourself that's been dormant or sleeping for a long time, but in a good way. I know it hurts initially when you start doing this work, but take it from me, as someone who's done plenty of it, and I'm sure I have more to go. It feels so good having done the work. Doing the work is nitty gritty, and I feel like you're a hard worker, and I feel like you know that. Okay, so let's get some guidance cards from the Ancestors and Angels deck, or Angels and Ancestors, rather. Okay, I feel like there's 2 for you. Okay, we have Guardian Angel, you are not alone. Look at these feathers. Guys, okay, excuse me. You may have someone on your spirit team who sends you feathers. That may be something that you are used to seeing even as a child. You may have encounters with birds that are really, really special to you. So that's a really exciting synchronicity. I feel like that would validate somebody whether or not they picked the right group. And then you also have Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. So much water in this group. You may have, you might want to take a look at your moon sign. They're saying there might be an insight there that might help you understand how the emotional body purges based on the moon sign. Also in the big three, there's so much water here. You may be a water sign. Okay. So it feels like, again, you're embarking, they're again talking about embarking on this journey of uncovering. It could be grief or trauma or something like that, processing and uncovering emotions, fleshing them out and grounding them. And it feels like it has to be done a lot, like wash, rinse, repeat, right? So again, Spirit is acknowledging your hard work, your dedication, your authenticity, and they are very proud of you. I just heard somebody say that. That sounded like a male voice, by the way. And not only are they acknowledging your willingness to continue to do a deep dive and look within, they are fully supporting you, saying that you are not alone. I don't know why they are bringing this up, but they're bringing up how strong of a structure a triangle is. There's something about a triangle and pyramid specifically. I don't even understand what they're trying to say entirely. They're saying, go ahead and just say it. Okay. There's something about a pyramid that is an incredibly strong and sound structure. So I don't know what that's about. I feel like you are building or you are housed in spiritually is what they're saying. A very, very sound, solid structure. So you could have a lot of people who have crossed over that you know about, or you could just have a large spirit team that you are aware of. There's also something about angels that they're saying. And I feel like there's one more card that wants to come out here for you. Group number 3. Group number 1. Wasn't that weird? Okay, so the number 3, since that was a slip up, that usually means something. The number 3 for me is like right before structure. The number 4 usually means structure for me. So I feel like you are right at that tipping point where you're about to feel comfortable and about to feel grounded, but there's just this little bit of emotional work left to do. So I think that's why the 3 came out, or 3 could be important to you. It could be another evidential thing. And seer, see beyond the current situation. So very loud and clear messages for this first group. Very repetitive. So this could be something that Spirit's been trying to tell you for a pretty long time. You could be sitting there saying, I know. And girl, I know too, but this is what they're saying again. They're like, just do it, just experience it, just get it out. We're right there, we're holding you through it, and it's gonna be okay. And they're asking you to remember how far that you've come, how much you've grown. You're the queen now, and you have all this beautiful perspective on what's happened during childhood, and how it could benefit you today to work through that and embrace it. You know what? Okay. They want me to pull you one word from this book. And I'm not going to look. I'm going to look at you while I do it. So this is your takeaway keyword or phrase for the week ahead. Pick a good one. Pick a good one. So this is an interesting thing that's coming up. Someone in my life right now calls people who are difficult to deal with peaches. So I feel like you might be dealing with someone who's a little difficult, or the stuff, the work that you're doing, the emotional work, the psychological work that you're doing could involve someone who's really difficult. And Spirit's saying, that's no reflection on you Their storytelling is not your story. Remember how we talked about that before? You have your own story, is what Spirit's saying, and we're helping you write it. And they're pointing at this and saying this is also a quill. It's a sign of angel energy and spirit, but it can also, you can pick it up and start writing with it. So what a beautiful message to end that on. You might be a writer. You might benefit from writing as well. So those were your messages, group number 1 with the cozy cup of tea. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for those of you who choose group number 2 with the sleep mask, the floral sleep mask, let's get your week ahead messages. You may feel like it's time to retreat. They're talking about doing a meditation where you establish your place. Does that make sense? So if you've never done this before, what you can do is establish this place that you go when you meditate to receive messages or to meet people if they want to show up. And there's some guided meditations that you could try, but basically, you just get in touch with your breath, get in touch with the present moment, and then just imagine a place where you feel really comfortable. And I always start in some kind of field and I walk into the forest. That's how I always go about it. So they're inviting you to do something like that. It might help clarify when you're getting spirit messages and when you are just being super intuitive is the way they're wording it. So I hope that makes sense, group number 2. Okay, so let's start with the tarot. We have the Chariot to start out, and then the 8 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands. Okay. So I see that you are working hard. You're putting in the hours, you're working on your craft, you're focused, you're diligent, you're dedicated. And okay, so this is a timeline. So they're talking about starting out on this path of something you manifested. This seems career related, so you might have said, okay, I want to start a business and I want it to be like this, or I want to start a new career and I want it to be like this, and you were just really gung-ho and started catapulting towards that goal. Now the Chariot energy can sometimes feel pulled in a couple different directions, so that may resonate for a couple of you. Either way, you've been plugging along. This is like daily work. This is hard work. This is diligence. This is being patient, making good investments with your time and energy. And now you're at the 2 of Wands. This would be present day. And so the 2 of Wands is almost like reassessing your plans. It's like you feel like there's a ship that's going to come in. It feels kind of exciting. It's like, I feel like a manifestation is going to come in. Let's say it's like money or something like that. How would I spend it? It's like you're starting to make plans about something positive coming in for yourself. Or maybe you're establishing a client base or interviewing for a job, and it's like, okay, well, if that works out, what will my daily life look like? And I feel like you're getting pretty specific about it. And if that's not resonating for the present moment, this would be an invitation to do that, to sit and write or think through and visualize what you want your daily life to be like. Let's imagine that your manifestations are here today. Spirit's asking, what are you wearing? How are you feeling? What did you eat? Everything. Who's in your life? How do you feel about them? They're asking you to get in touch with your future self, but in a way that's really loving and really exciting. Future energy can sometimes edge on anxiety, and Spirit's like, no, we're not going to get anxious. We're getting excited. So they already popped out some guidance cards real quick. Let's see. We have the Lord and the Snake. Shed old skin. Okay, so maybe that original plan, the one that you set out on, maybe there's something that isn't quite working out about it, and maybe it's time to shed that. Or not exactly give up on it. They're not saying that, but it's like, if a detail of the original plan is not resonating and is not helping you in the present moment, it's okay to just kind of like sit it down on the table for now and like put it like over on the back burner. Like, I'm not going to forget about this idea, but right now the timing's just not quite working out. So there might be something like that going on. And Spirit is saying, okay, they're inviting you to step into this Lord energy, this take charge with authority. Another element of this card is honesty and being willing to tell the truth even when it's uncomfortable. So maybe this thing, if this is resonating for you, that there's an element of the original plan that's not working out, maybe you feel like you have to tell somebody about that, and maybe that feels uncomfortable. But Spirit's saying it's okay to do that, and that they're supporting you in doing that, that you've worked so hard, that you don't deserve to have this one element holding you back. They're hearing your plans, and they're big and bright and beautiful. And, oh, there's something else in here. There's this sense of not knowing what's next with this group. I almost just want to say, I don't know. So you might be thinking that to yourself a lot. Or just feeling kind of scattered and just feeling like, if I could just figure out this one thing, everything would work out. That might be what you find yourself telling yourself. Okay, and then we have spring. See your seeds grow. Okay, so this is what it is. Are you ready? So this original idea, there's a facet of it that doesn't seem to be working out right now. And Spirit is saying, we'd love for you to shed expectations of when this element will come into play. I hope that's making sense. So maybe if you are a small business and you are offering multiple kinds of services and you're really excited about a product you're making, but you're also doing clearings or something like that, instead of interest in the product like you had hoped, maybe they're more interested in the service, like clearings. But Spirit's saying, just because it's not happening right this very second doesn't mean it's never going to happen, because this is a very auspicious card. Girl, my friend. Spring is all about abundance, sowing your seeds now. So maybe the seeds just need to be watered a little bit. Maybe we need to cultivate a different way of doing whatever you had planned. But know that it's not a no. And this doesn't mean give up. It just means maybe put it down for a minute and just let the flower grow. Just put it in the ground and actually bury it, and then it can sprout up. So they're saying it's not a no. It's just not right now. So that's really specific. I hope that's resonating for you. Please let me know if it is. I'm super curious. And then let me get your takeaway message. You got, what did you get? Change your tune. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So instead of no, it's not right now. I'm really hearing that over and over. So those were your messages for those of you who chose the eye mask. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, so for our third and final group, we have group number 3 with these pink shades. Let's go ahead and get your week ahead message. Okay. I'm hearing something about trust already, or trusty. Let's see. Ooh. Some of these cards fell on the ground and they're saying no, not those. So let's go ahead and reshuffle. Do your spirit guides ever do that to you, where they will just say, something that just sounds so random. And I mean, I know it's not, they know best, but it's just kind of funny sometimes, you know? Okay. So we have the Ace of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands. Okay. So I am seeing something about a poverty mindset right away with the Five of Pentacles. So this could indicate that you are experiencing a hardship of some kind. It could be a financial hardship. You could feel left out in the cold. But it's like, if this is you, there's this opportunity, this loving opportunity, this Ace of Cups right behind you. So this really feels like a perspective shift. And that is not to minimize anything that you're going through. Group number 3, I just want you to know that. Believe me, I've had my share of hardships as well. So I do not take them lightly. It's just that even when you're in the thick of it, even when you can barely concentrate, if you're really, really going through it, really having a hard time, you can still have moments of at least silence, you know? Like maybe you're not wanting to count all your blessings or journal or pray or all that, which that's fine. You know, that's part of the human experience, is feeling like that's not feasible, or feeling like that's just not authentic, or like you just can't, or you don't have the time, or it wouldn't be real. Spirit's just saying, if you could just stop for just a moment and just be for the present moment, that is sort of like a mini meditation. And that's enough for your spirit guides and your angels and ancestors to get through and to help you even just a little bit. It really feels like thick, heavy energy, almost like peanut butter. That's kind of what it feels like. I know that's abstract, but I feel like those of you who are in this place might understand what I'm saying. They are pointing out, however, with the Seven of Wands, that you do have the upper hand, even though it seems like everything is stacked against you right now. You may feel like the challenge you're facing is insurmountable alone, but that's not true. You do have this, and I know it feels so discouraging, and it feels like a heavy pit in my stomach, like I don't even know what I'm going to do to make it through this. Spirit is saying you do have the upper hand. You are going to get through this. Let's see. I feel like we really need some encouragement, especially for this group, for group number 3. And I want to know more about what in the world this is, because this is so different from the other cards. This Ace of Cups. Let me actually get a clarifier for that. So can we have a clarifier for that Ace of Cups, Spirit? Why is this ace here in this reading? What does group number 3 need to hear for their highest good about this? That's it. Page of Pentacles. Okay. Page of Pentacles. Let me look at this. This seems to be about a person. And it seems to be an emotional connection. It doesn't have to be romantic, but I'm getting that vibe. This could also be a family member, however. So to clarify the ace, we have a page. So that means that a person is the reason why we are perceiving this. So you may feel like you've missed an opportunity or something like that. Because I do see a back being turned towards this person. So this could be a relationship that didn't work out. It could be a relationship that you've expected at this point in your life, and you might be feeling really discouraged and disappointed that it's not happening yet. So now that we have that clarification, let's get some guidance for you, because it feels like, and I almost feel like I'm hearing you're saying it's not that simple. I'm not trying to make it simple at all. I'm trying to validate that Spirit is offering some kind of understanding of what you're dealing with. So I never mean to diminish or simplify, ever. Just simply for the sake of brevity and your privacy, of course, that we just honor and respect that with brief messages, so that Spirit can deliver other messages as well. We have Drum, Dream and Journey, Peacekeeper, and Autumn, Release the Old and Reset. Okay. It feels like there's been a painful situation that has to do with a person. Again, like we said, it could be romantic, it could be familial, but it's something that involved a feeling of love. I'll put it that way. And it feels like there was a conflict, and they're showing you holding your tongue for the sake of being a peacekeeper. Which they're confirming that was totally valid, that was totally the right thing to do, but it almost feels like it hurts more having not said everything that I could have said, if that makes sense. So you might be second guessing, I should have said this, why didn't I say that? I didn't truly stand up for myself. And that's not the case. It could have actually been some kind of divine intervention or Spirit working through you that you ended up holding your tongue. You could have demonstrated an emotional maturity that other person was not used to seeing in you. And that may have pulled out a reaction that really shocked you. I'm just seeing like this whole scenario happening. So they're talking about the drum now and dream and journey. And for me, the drum does talk about life purpose. So it feels like, and you may have native heritage, I'm noticing in these cards. So with the life purpose, I'm really hearing the rhythm of that drum, and there's this invitation to keep going, to keep moving forward. And Spirit saying it's totally valid to sit in the feelings and sit in it, as they say. Sometimes you got to sit in it. But don't dwell there. Don't dwell there, because it's not your purpose to dwell there. You're a very beautiful spirit. I'm seeing a lot of blue. I'm seeing like sparkly energy. So you're someone who has the potential to be so expressive and so creative and imaginative and inspiring to be around. And people really need you and really love being around you. And I feel like you have almost this Midas touch, but it's almost like with blue glitter. So hopefully that makes sense. You might also have a little pet that you really love, is a message that I just got. Or some of you may even have a pet in spirit that you wonder about. They just came in here and rubbed up on my leg, so they are saying hello and that they love you very much. And lastly, I'm going to do it to you with Autumn, Release the Old, and Rest. Oh, that is super similar to Relax and Allow, right? And, this reminds me, these 4 leaves, it reminds me of the 4 of Swords. If you're familiar with tarot, there's like a person laying down and these swords. But if it's reversed, it's almost like the swords are going to impale them, if that makes sense. So that is like your spirit guide saying, girl, you better rest. You better lay down. You better sleep. So that's all I'm going to say is you better sleep. Remember that you have the upper hand, even though it seems impossible, even though it feels impossible. Just know that it's not. You have a lot of spirit helpers. You even have like animal support going on. Ancestral support is showing up. And there is this deep-rooted spirituality that if you haven't tapped into, you have an immense potential, by the way. The bison's a very spiritual animal to me, and they are pointing him out, and also the sacred smoke there. But also, if you are already a spiritual person, you identify that way, just know that there's even more expansion to be done. There's even more that you can tap into. And I'm getting these tingles on my head, and I feel like a female ancestor of yours is placing a crown on your head and going, yes, yes. All you have to do is show up and say yes. Be willing to release the old, to relax and allow the present moment, and just allow the next one to wash over you. So your spirit guides have got your back, and you have your own back as well. You seem really tenacious. So it may have caught you off guard how emotional this has gotten. And I totally relate to that. Sometimes I forget how emotional I can be until I'm really in the thick of something. So I'm already getting your takeaway message here. Let's see what Spirit wants to tell you. Okay, you have seek peace. Girl, do not. Oh, stop. Are you seeing that? Am I holding this like a normal person? Not really. Oh my gosh. You are a peacekeeper. Wow. That was super powerful. I just got chills. I hope you feel that. I hope you feel how important you are. Group number 3, you're such a beautiful energy. And I am so sorry that you are experiencing this, but know that you have the upper hand. It's coming to an end. All you have to do is relax and allow, and your spirit guides are there to help you, okay? So that was your message for those of you who chose the 3rd group with the sunglasses. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. And thank you all for being here. I hope that the premiere of this video worked out the way that it was supposed to. Again, I should be hanging out in the comments with you as well if everything is going as planned on Wednesday. And be well, do rest, and just know that it's going to be okay. If it really feels like it's not, make yourself a cup of tea, take a deep breath, or just take a nap. Maybe that's what we all need, right? There's a lot going on. It feels like there's a lot emotionally that's purging. I know that I'm seeing that come up a lot in my family and just the people around me that I work with too. There's a lot of energy happening. So I'm inviting one of my spirit guides to help mulch that heavy energy for us, to lighten our loads and help that go a little bit smoother. So thank you so much. I'm sending you so much love and light. And I will see you next week. Bye.